That's funny. Perhaps.
All right, we are live. Hello, welcome to the Two Sides of Politics podcast, reopening edition. I'm here with just John today, just me and John. Um, so how are you
Hello,
doing?
bro. I'm so tired. uh,
I think we all are.
I I'm hoping for super hoping that I can, because there's just that part of the day. My dog found a little bit of peanut butter I spilled in her bowl. Uh, there's just that part of the day that I basically never experience. The from I wouldn't say 5 or 6, but like from 8 a.m. to 12. It's just nothingness. It's just a gap, and it has been for months. So I'm hoping to reclaim that, because all that happens at night is I play video games and talk to my friends occasionally that late into the night, but it's usually just me.
Right.
Um, and more things happen during the day.
Yeah, actually, someone I talked to today said because he was getting up at like 1 or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
like I was like, oh, he got up at 8 today, and I was like, hey, you finally got up like early. And he's like, I kind of got my motivation back. And
Nice.
I mean, I mean, I know I'm going to go into a political tangent off this, but it's miraculous. If people are not motivated to do stuff, they won't do it. It's
Yeah.
like I mean, we are talking coronavirus today, so
hmm
um, I mean, just there's more than just the economy. There's more than just public health. Saying the economy and public health are just two broad umbrellas. Um, because I mean, we're talking about livelihoods being destroyed. Uh, you actually might see the reconnection of family. You also might see the opposite. You see an uptick in domestic abuse. You see,
Wait,
uh,
really?
yeah,
Oh yeah, because everyone's stuck at home.
right, right. Um, you see an uptick in domestic violence. You see, you know, a downgrade in crime. You see upgrade in other areas of criminal behavior. But life in the coronavirus is is not good, to say the least.
Yeah. No.
Um, People are losing motivation, but others are realizing the value of motivation. So, like, people are realizing that, yeah, going to work isn't so bad, Yeah, I might be
Mm.
home doing nothing, whatever I want, but, you know, I'm not motivated to do anything. I don't want to get up and do anything. You become lazy and,
Yeah.
oh,
It sucks.
yeah. And I mean, my mom always says, I could find 100 million things to do at home until she's home. And then she's like,
It's just the one
I'm going to
or
go
two
watch
things.
TV. Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't think people realize like how important work is, not necessarily financially, but mentally.
Oh yeah. Big deal.
This
Uh,
is a huge part of it.
what was I gonna say? Uh, I believe that I don't know what I believe. um, where's my brain going with this? Regardless, vaccine news is happening. There's like 60 companies across the world and government that
And government.
are that are having human trials right now. Moderna is the most like ahead of them, it seems.
It's good.
Um, yeah, they did. Let's see. Let me look up. I believe they did 60, um, 60 trials, and like 12 of them produced. Um, or antibodies. So they had they've had some luck. I don't know what the other 48 patients were doing because they didn't say for some. That's the sketchy part about it. They like didn't give all the information. They just said, "Oh, hey, we have something that might work," and then kind of
I think
left.
that's what everyone's doing really at this point. Everyone's like, yeah, we're working on something. I mean, there are things that work probably that we just, don't haven't tested on. But I think, due to the urgency and stuff like that, it just people are like rocketing to fix this. So
Yeah,
I mean, they want their life back to normal. So I wouldn't
right.
expect.
Yeah, the if the Dow is anything to go by,
Well, yeah.
um,
What was it? Today, trading opened up back on the floor.
yep.
Or yeah, today, which is great news. Um,
Oh yeah.
but I mean, other than the fact that I think the American people are done with this, um, I think, and this is gonna sound sick, but this is kind of a sick take. Um, why are we destroying the economy for people that are basically on the way out of life?
Wait, say again?
Why are we destroying the economy for people that
Oh,
are on the way out of life? Like,
well, because it's not for the people on their way out of life. It's for the people who have life left to live. Sure, the old people might die regardless of what we do, but you can certainly prevent the younger people from getting
the
the virus.
average age of dying with this virus is higher than the life expectancy in this country.
Okay, but that's because we haven't had many young people get it. Actually, okay, I don't know.
No, we
You're
have.
you're right, but also, would you rather suffer through I don't think it's ever a good idea to brute force a pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, and this is where I come into it. And, like, would I have loved to done what Sweden has done? Yeah, probably.
Mm,
But I also think Swedish people are healthier. I think that,
yeah, they got some clean air over there.
yeah, so if you factor in the United States, and Brazil proves it very quickly with them blowing up right now. People are
Yeah.
dying in droves down there, and I think they'll ultimately end up with the worst death rate.
Mm,
Um, it's simply based on health. Um, Health has a huge factor in this. And I think one thing that we'll get out of this is Americans will be a little more health conscious and,
yeah.
more sanitary, more likely to lose weight, more likely to stay in shape,
Oh yeah.
and to
For at
eat
least for the
right.
first few months, people are gonna be like,
No,
everything, do everything.
I think it'll be more people than you think. Because people will wake up and realize, God damn, this is
Mm-mm.
you know, this is going to be what kills me. So, I don't know. Maybe one less person smokes but I
Yeah,
guess one is better than none, right? So,
of course.
um, because that's really who's dying are all these people with underlying health conditions, and like smoking and stuff like that
Yeah.
creates the underlying health conditions. So I think you're going to have a healthier population after, or
Hmm.
a move towards, because if Brazil lights it up with deaths, that's going to prove that. um, and that's why I think Sweden's okay, because Swedish people are Eastern Europe, Europeans to some degree, across the board. Italians have a different, they have other problems, and that's why so many people died there. But
Yeah.
um, they have a lot of cross generational contamination. That the idea of going to grandma's or grandpa's house on Sunday night dinner, the whole family shows up. That's why it spread so quickly. Um,
Hmm.
you just don't see that in Sweden. Now, the Swedish approach probably wouldn't work here. Um, but here's what I would have done. No, not would have done. Here's what I would do right now.
Yeah.
I would reopen on the basis that people follow guidelines. Social distancing, protecting themselves, wearing masks, gloves, what have you, right? Let
Hmm.
everybody reopen, right? Everybody, and not, demonize, uh, um, essential versus non-essential, right? And you
Yeah.
say, assess your own risk, right? So you're saying,
Hmm.
like, if you are more likely to die from this over the age of 65, underlying health conditions, stay home, protect yourself, right? But let everyone
Yeah.
else go and make their own calculation. And that way, we can continue the economy normally and well, not no, as close to normally as possible, while also protecting ourselves and those people most vulnerable, and getting through the pandemic. Because I don't see fully shutting down as the option anymore or at all, because people are losing livelihoods, which is affecting people down the line and in the future.
Mm.
So what I would do is I'd probably let everyone reopen under basis conditions of
Yes.
wearing masks and gloves if needed, or and assess your own risk and do it that way and move forward.
Hmm.
Uh, I feel like that would be a good balance between total reopening and locking down. Well, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that would be a good balance, especially in moderation. Like as we go forward, um, I think that people should open up with more guidelines. The thing is, like, by opening up, we expose people to the virus that have not had it before. Like, if I go out into the world and do my thing, I'm pretty likely to catch it. But because I haven't been outside in like years, um, so there's always that risk that comes with it. But
But that's your risk
my
calculation,
yeah,
right? So,
right. But if you catch the virus and it actually impacts you, like there's a, I see what you mean, but
yeah,
I don't think that like I don't think anyone's actually going to take that risk.
I
They
think I
want the
think you'd be
safety.
surprised. I think you'd be
Wouldn't people have
surprised.
done it already?
Well, they can't.
Well, okay, but the federal. Well, okay, that doesn't really matter. Um, I guess you're right. I just think that if people are willing to go out and protest, then they're willing to go out and go do whatever. Um,
Right. I guess I would pitch it as this. Uh, what does a lockdown accomplish?
well, it prevents the spread of the virus, giving people time to research it.
Okay, fair. Flatten the curve, right?
Yeah,
Not overwhelm the healthcare system, right?
yeah.
Okay, if we're locking down, how is it still spreading?
Well, because it could spread in like close quarters areas, and people who aren't really distancing themselves.
Right,
I mean, the thing is in the air, for God's sake, you know?
right. So you have people who are not following your lockdown.
Yeah.
So
It can also spread in
here you
ways that
are
people.
again, government hurting the people that do things right for people that don't. Right? It's the whole gun argument. It's like, well, guns kill people. Well, why are you trying to take it out of the guy's hand that is the good civilian? You know?
Because, well, okay, you got a
But
point
it's the
with
same
that on
argument.
paper. You got a point on that on paper. Here's the thing. People, they either need a big punishment for doing it, like a drastically bigger punishment than a reward for getting away with it, or they need to not have access to it at all. Because the people who will mess it up for the rest of us will mess it up for the rest of us inevitably, yeah. So they need to have. There needs to be a way of deterring them, unless you're just going to outright take that stuff away. Like the ultimate deterrent is taking it away, but the ultimate punishment is death. Which
Right.
one is more appealing? You know, it's the same thing with this lockdown. The ultimate deterrent is keeping people inside. The ultimate punishment for like not following the rules is death, but it's a death either way for some people.
Right. So,
I personally would say kill anyone who breaks the big laws, like murder. If you murder someone, you die. If you
so you're pro death penalty then?
Yes, because the king of Babylon, Hammurabi, always struck me as a wise kind of guy.
Eye for an
Because,
eye.
like, yeah, not in like the most literal sense, like they had it, because that's a little sus. Because how do you like transfer a car into like, oh, just steal the car back? Yeah, no. um, if like let's say that people were going outside and we were like doing an eye for an eye, I would fine them an exorbitant amount. I like if they were breaking the rules, I would be like, yo, pay this fine, large fine,
Right,
because
which
then
would be
then they
a
wouldn't do
very
it.
authoritarian view, right?
Yes, but this is only in times of emergency,
Okay,
and
that's fair.
until like like as far and like gun, like when things go wrong with guns, I consider that an emergency. Like if somebody shoots up a school, that's an emergency, so it requires emergency level action.
Okay, fair.
Otherwise, my policies are fairly tame. I usually just let people vibe.
Well, in on paper again, I'll use your words. That works, right? I mean,
Uh,
well, no, but
I no, you're right. I just think it's funny. I have been bamboozled.
no, but like I look at it this way, how do you make sure everyone's following the rules? You have to keep checks on everyone. You have to surveil and police and this and that, which is fine if you think about it that way, but it's almost impossible to do that. So,
I don't actually mind the idea of secret police because they'll be looking for things that don't matter for freedom. Like secret police in dictatorships are awful because you can't move without being. But secret police in a republic would just see the things that are not supposed to
yeah,
be done.
they're called the FBI and
Yeah, okay,
CIA.
but they're like
They do bad
around.
shit of their own.
Oh, of course, but like as far as they're not like walking the streets like people. They have
Um,
cases to work on.
yeah, FBI is kind of a more broad. Well, CIA is definitely abroad. It's international. Um,
Yeah.
what I would say though is, people are going crazy as it is. Um, I would say, in being that it is America, is you
Mm.
have to let people make their own risk. If you don't want to get sick, protect yourself to not get sick. Right?
The other thing though is like, what if, like, what if the person that has the virus from going out and they don't know it yet, and then they come into contact with you, a complete stranger, and they give it to you? You were
Uh,
calculating your own risk, or what if you had to go outside? Like, it's not fair for some people.
well, I would protect myself then.
Yeah, you could with the face mask and all that, but we don't have enough of those to go around.
Well, that's why everyone's making them now and stuff like that. I mean, again, that's it's risk calculation. You know,
Yeah, I guess
if
you're
you are
right.
if you are sick, you shouldn't be going out. Now, if this person was asymptomatic, what are you gonna do? But
Yeah.
um, if you're going out, right, and I'm going to
Hmm.
the grocery store, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I'll choose to wear a mask to protect myself and gloves or whatever to pick up whatever. Put it in my
Yeah.
cart. I'll take it home and I'll wash it. Right.
Hmm.
Every time we go get milk now, it's it goes into the sink, gets washed off, and then it goes in the
Yeah.
fridge. So it's like, why don't we do that? Now I get it, but the problem is shutting down parks and these basketball courts and whatever, you know, uh, is fine to some degree, but is it really? Because if I'm playing basketball with friends, it's people I'm comfortable with, people I'm more likely to talk to. Uh, I don't know very much, but I'm like 99% sure most people don't just play basketball with random strangers, um,
Hmm.
like every day. Um, and I know people that go to hoops every day. Yeah, there's other people there, but they're not playing with them. They're playing with whoever they went with.
Yeah.
Um, I get parks being an infestation. And you might not want to go there, and everyone ride down the slide. Like I get that, but it's also outside. All these face covering laws don't apply to children under 2. It's like, well, what are they not gonna spread it? Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
it's either everybody or nobody, So it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Um, I mean, yeah, okay, shut down playgrounds, that's fine, but I don't know. I feel like businesses and shut down schools, shut down playgrounds, stuff like that. But you need to let people be responsible for their
Yeah.
own actions. Because then, look at it this way. And this is something you'll probably appreciate. If people do not understand the risk and either are careless about taking the risk and they get it and they die,
They're no
it's
longer of
actually
consequence.
natural selection in the sense that the
they
survival of
they
the
shouldn't have
fittest,
gone
the
outside.
smartest people. Now, I'm not saying you're stupid if you think, wearing a mask is dumb or a dumb idea.
Well, no,
It
you
might
are
not.
stupid if you think wearing a mask or not wearing a mask is not a good idea.
Well, to some
Avo-
degree, yes. Like, I'm not going to wear it in my car, but, like,
oh, okay.
Um,
Avoiding it where you don't have to wear it is yeah, fine. But
right.
I
But,
mean, like
like,
people who go out and like I'm not gonna wear a mask in a public full of people area.
yeah, I guess it's their risk calculation. Now, if they get it and
But
they
it
die.
also
But
becomes
if they
my
get it.
risk calculation.
No, but if they get it and they die, that's on them. Right?
Sure, but then what about all the people that they infected? Like, at the end result, it just looks similar to what we're in right now.
Yes, but look at it this way. Yeah, so I guess you're making the argument of like, well, you find or you, okay. Look at I'll give you an example. Say you're someone that goes around and doesn't wear a mask or whatever, and you're like, I'm
Yeah,
good, right? You get infected with it,
right.
but I'm comfortable around you. Say we live together, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's my risk calculation of you.
Hmm.
So if I didn't feel comfortable, you go out and you wear a mask nowhere and blah blah blah. If it was up to me and my risk calculation, I might wear a mask when I was with you. So like
Right.
it becomes that's still risk calculation. Now, I would hope that parents make the decision keeping their young children that can't, fend for themselves or, think for themselves in mind. You have to
Yeah.
remember that. But, you would hope that they would make that decision. But just saying, well, we're protecting the children that can't make the decision. So you're protecting people who are very unlikely to die from this. Got it.
Okay,
No,
but
but
they still could suffer and then harbor the disease.
Well, I mean,
It's just a
everyone
whole
gets
bunch.
the
It's a
flu,
whole.
everyone gets the cold, it's just, that's part of life.
You're so close to being right, but in this circumstance where we don't have a quick fix
I
to a
mean,
large, because like your government doesn't want people to die. Like, your government, it's seen as a failure
well,
if you
right.
let people
And
die.
that's the liberal argument. It's like, well, how many deaths are you okay with? How many deaths
Right.
I'm
Well, because
okay
that's a big deal.
Well, no. You expect people to say zero, right? And that would be the politician answer. You're not okay with anyone dying. But the thing
Yeah.
is 6,500 people die normally on average each day.
Yeah.
So, if we're hitting that average, I guess it's a normal day, right?
Right.
Actually,
Yeah. That would be the intelligent answer.
Now, I would not be shocked. At the end of this year, how many total people die? Total. Like, everything. At the end of the year
Right.
compared to last year, right? In the United States. Say just even in the United States. I would not be surprised if this year was lower.
The normal.
Mm-hmm.
But that can't possibly be.
Well, think. No one else is dying from anything else. Everything that anyone dies from now.
Maybe not of natural causes, but the death total will still be higher than normal.
Are you saying like 2019? I'm saying 2019 versus 2020. I think more.
Right.
Now I'm not
More
sure.
people
I
will
would
die.
not. I would not be
More
surprised.
people will die of natural causes in 2019.
No, I'm talking
more
all
people.
causes. All
Right.
causes.
Right. More people will die regardless in 2020 because there's a virus.
Well, no, because the same amount of people will actually die. Does that make sense? So, like, a lot of the people that are dying, a lot of the people that are dying from this were on the deathbed, or were on their deathbed, right? They had X number of months to live anyway, right? Yes, there are flukes, but yes, people die of influenza every year. You're taking all those people away. No one has died of the flu this year. Car crashes down.
Yeah.
I think suicides might be up.
I see what you mean.
Suicides might be up, but stuff like that. So when you factor it all in at the end, if someone came to me, less people died in 2020 than in the United States than in 2019, I wouldn't be surprised.
I see what you mean.
So,
I think that's a bit of a jaded way to look at it still, but
yeah, I mean it's not like perfect, but
because you still have to like at least try to protect people. Sure, the government, your rights to life, liberty, and happiness are completely inhibited by the virus. So we should try and get rid of it for the most part. Whether or not, and then the government has to act on it.
Right, I'm not saying the government shouldn't do anything to stop, spread, whether it be providing surgical masks and, setting guidelines and what have you to stop the spread. But, and I'm not saying we shouldn't do anything, but I'm saying that we as humans make our own risk calculation and that we can move forward with life. Now, people die. Saying that no one is going to die is impossible, right? People will die. So when people say, But no one's gonna die, right? That's impossible.
Right.
Okay, so here is some information. The death toll fell by 2.8% to 48 per 100,000 people in the United States. So just do some quickie math here. We'll say it's 330 or 330 million. I know we're just a little shy of that, but we're probably not. So 330 million divided by 100,000 people times 48. 158,000 people, roughly. 1,500 and 1,000. Oh shit, I'm retarded. 158,400 people roughly died in the United States in 2018. The current death toll for coronavirus is just about 100,000. But it takes up probably like 95% of deaths this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably going to come in about equal. Because deaths are falling from the coronavirus. Although I guess they'll pick up on the other side. So maybe my statement wasn't exactly factually true. But yes, more people will die, I guess. I wouldn't be shocked if in the end I was wrong and it came in as less. But I wouldn't.
I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What I'm basically what I'm trying to say is like
society's normal death causes are lowered because of the virus.
right. So that everyone's like, oh, 99, or now I believe it's 100,000 now. 100,000 people died. Well, yes, that's bad. They're dying from the one thing, but they're not dying of other
Versus
things.
the ton of things, yeah.
Right. It's like, well, yeah, instead of 60,000 people dying from influenza, a heart attack, cancer,
Right.
Blah, blah, right? Wait a minute. That 150 doesn't seem right. Because now that I'm thinking about it, but now they're just dying of corona. Because if the average death per day is 6,500 times 365, I got 2 million.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I think I might be intelligent. The death rate in 2019 is 8.782. So 330 million. We'll just do it this way. I think the way I did it the first time, I was just stupid. Wait, is that percent? So this is 0.087. Oh no, that's already a percentage, is it not? A rate is a percentage.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm stupid. Sorry, hold
You keep going back and forth. Which one is it? But anyway.
Wait. Ooh. I don't think 2 billion is the right number. I think 2 million is the right number. Okay, so if we go based on the average, so about 6,500 people in the United States die each year, which equates to about 2 million people dying each year.
Okay.
That number makes more sense. So when you say, oh, 2 million people die each year of all causes, then 99,000 isn't big.
Right.
So that's what I was trying to get at. The number I got before, I don't know what I did, but I knew it wasn't right. Because 150,000, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, the average human probably goes to, I don't know, that's like 10 funerals. So if, I'm trying to think. My mother goes to probably 15, 16 funerals a year. So if you start doing the math where it's like,
What does she do?
Oh, she just works for the state. She just knows a lot of
Oh,
people.
okay. Okay.
So, yeah. So what I'm saying is yes, 99,000 is bad. Yes, we shouldn't open up tomorrow, all willy nilly. Who cares? But look, I think that we can be cautious, and I don't think the death toll is that crazy.
It's not. It's definitely less than it could be.
Right.
But the matter is like, we cannot resume normal life until we have a way to just get rid of it.
Right. But I think people can be responsible. Um,
I don't.
well, and that becomes the argument of, well, let the responsible people live, natural selection. It's like, if you're not responsible, you end up getting it and you die. So,
yeah. I just, it's an obligatory, what's the word? It's obligatory, task for the government to save the stupid people. They just...
Right, so why do we keep doing it? We might as well just stop.
Well, no, because those are U.S. citizens. Like, you can't just let them die, even if they're the worst kind of people. It's just not fair to them. The system rewards both sides equally, so they need to be given a shot. If you just say let them die, they're gonna go out there and get them screwed up.
Yeah, I know.
I just... balance is necessary.
That's what government is. It's balance of interest. And I don't think people understand that. It's why you can't simply just listen to Fauci. You have to account for Mnuchin, right? You have to account for, other people who have other issues. And that's what government is. It's not about locking down forever. You have to be able to reopen to save some aspects of life. And so...
How fast is the Massachusetts stage thing supposed to go? Like every few weeks?
It has to do with testing numbers and is it hospitalizations, deaths? No, I don't think deaths is a factor. I think it's infection.
Georgia reopened like a month ago, and their death rates are still steady.
Yeah, I think that you do have. I think that you do have will have a steady. You will still have a steady infection rate, and you will still have a steady death rate. Yes, to some degree. I'm not sure the exact numbers on Georgia's death numbers, but here, I'll pull them up. It's just interesting. So what would be your plan then?
To reopen?
Just, I guess...
just in general?
Yeah.
Well, definitely start way earlier than the United States started.
Locking down... I guess reopen.
Okay, reopen.
If moving forward from this point... Sorry, I guess I didn't...
I would definitely start it. Sorry. I would probably look at numbers. Okay, it'd be a state-by-state basis. I think I would take the authoritarian approach and let states reopen based on numbers, because it's the safest approach. These people are casualties, but they are now. Well, that's all they are now. They were people, but now they're not. So the states with the least number of casualties during lockdown can start their reopening plan. But if you're like New York, nope. You gotta stay that way until something happens.
Now, would you treat the whole state of New York the same?
Yep,
Even
because everyone will move when it's borders.
upstate.
People in New York City will leave and go to the other places.
Well, people in New York City don't leave for upstate New York. They usually leave for the Cape, Jersey, Long Island.
Right. Well, wherever they go, they're gonna bring it with them, and their numbers are still very high. So I cannot feel comfortable with them being allowed to just leave. As far as like Georgia, I would let Georgia do what it's doing. Georgia's not dense enough for a like for a lockdown to really matter right now. Well, okay, it would matter, but it wouldn't matter in the same way that it would for the epicenters of the virus. So I'd let the more rural southern states probably open up a little bit faster than Massachusetts is, and then keep the epicenters in in lockdown for a bit longer. But I would be plugging that U.S. government money into vaccines everywhere.
All right, just some interesting numbers here. Florida and Georgia are both consistent on deaths and new cases from the beginning.
Yes.
California is actually trending upwards in new cases and in deaths. Massachusetts is trending downward for both deaths and new cases. New York is trending. Hold on, let me get back. New York back. New York is trending down for new cases and way down for deaths. Um, so, what would you say to that?
Um. Well,
Well, I guess
California seems like their surge is now happening. So I personally do not trust New York because it's like
you
they
don't like
blew up.
Cuomo.
No, it's not that I don't like Cuomo. I think that I said I don't trust New York in the sense that I would not let it do because it's the outlier. It's the most devastated region. I would not let it open up like I would a normal state with those same statistics because it previously was something much crazier.
Right. I mean, I guess look at it this way. Even though it's trending down, they still had 76 deaths, which is
Yeah,
higher than California, not higher than California's ever had, but California had 24 yesterday.
right.
But they had
New York is
88 the day
still.
before, so there's that.
Yeah, but I would like if you have a consistent downward trend, I would allow you to reopen faster. And the faster that your trends decrease, I would allow you to reopen like in a proportional speed to that. Um, but like also restrictions. Still, still social distancing. Just move it from inside to outside. You can't be that close to
So
people. So
you
areas,
would allow outdoor gatherings?
yeah, up to like 10 people. Um, at this point in time, up to like 10 people. Um, and I would see where it goes in the coming weeks. And every week, maybe you add some people. Um,
Okay.
I wouldn't let restaurants open until the very end because that is where dumb stuff happens. It gets in the food, it gets in the people. It's awful. And you got to sit right next to each other and they breathe on each other. The kids are there, they sneeze. It's just not
Um,
good.
would you be okay with people doing not what the hell? Oh, they had like did you see any of those shield restaurants where people have there's literally like plastic encased around the tables or like 6 feet from
No, I did
restaurants.
not see that.
Actually, because I was at a restaurant the other day and it was an outdoor restaurant in which
Yeah.
tables were just set far away. Sitting at the table, you could have your mask off, but if you got up to go anywhere, you had to put it on. So
Yeah.
basically, you went, one person went, ordered. There was a menu out front, so you just told the person that went up to order for you. You guys stayed at the table, you ate. The servers were all wearing masks and gloves. They came around afterward, not very often, and it was good. And I think I mean, that was fairly normal, because, I mean, you look around, you didn't see people wearing masks, but it was because they were all sitting at their table eating, so, you know, they were okay, and all the tables were just far away from each other. I mean, something like that I'd be fine with.
Yeah, definitely a slow and steady approach would be the better one, at least in my opinion. I don't know why Trump is so insistent on reopening everything.
Well, that's just his economy, you know, like that. I've come to the point where I can't really explain Trump.
He's so weird that it's impossible.
Like, just when I think I have him mastered, I'm like, yeah, no, I
Not
do
even close.
Yeah, nope. I don't even know how to explain it.
He is like ignoring information. Like if Cuomo was president, not saying he should be, but if he was, he would just be taking like he would be more seemingly aware of the stakes. Trump is kind of just like, we're winning, we're doing it, we're winning. Like he's always been.
Well,
like,
I think part of him's an optimist. So he's walking around and he's saying, "Oh, we're gonna get through this. You know, one day we're gonna wake up and there's not gonna be a virus." You know, stuff like that.
See, but he doesn't say it like that. He says, "We're going warp speed. We're killing this thing like now."
Well, that's the salesman, right?
Right, and that's bad because he's lying.
I mean, he's just a complicated person. I think he does some things. I think he does some things really well. I think he says a lot of stupid stuff, but he is what he is, man. Yeah. I guess if it was anyone else other than Hillary, the Democrats would have won.
Yeah.
If it was anyone other than Biden, maybe not. Well, the first election, if it was anyone other than Hillary, he would have lost.
Yeah.
This election, little different. Bernie wouldn't have won. No way in hell. No way in hell. Bernie would not have won. Kamala would not have won. Yang, nope. Beto, Bozo, nope. Cory Booker, nope. Marianne Williamson, nope. Klobuchar wouldn't have won. Would have been a good candidate. Buttigieg, nope. Liz Warren, you've got to be joking me. People from Massachusetts don't even like her.
Yeah, no.
Joe Biden's it. Bloomberg, come on. You're joking me. Tom Steyer, seriously? Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Okay, what was wrong with Bloomberg? Because I've heard very many about him.
Bloomberg is an arrogant billionaire, is what he is.
Okay.
It's literally trying to buy an election. And I understand why that is not popular. Not to mention, his policies were very authoritarian.
Oh, they were? Alright. If your policies in general are authoritarian, that's not good.
I think Bloomberg was a fake candidate because he was really just there to get elected. I don't think he cared about
Oh, actually,
actually
progressing.
doing anything. He wasn't really a good candidate. And I mean, going into it, if you had told me like, oh, Bloomberg, he's going to change the game. I even said that, but he ended up falling flat on his face. So.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
who am I missing? I gotta be missing someone. I don't know. Joe really was the only one reasonable that was left. So it just I don't see him winning because he just doesn't have the mental capacity.
Yeah, he's like broken.
So I think Trump will get reelected. So almost on the basis of whatever he does now, but I think one thing
Yeah.
is clear. Post coronavirus, Trump will get us out of that. He will bring back the economy, That he can do and he proved that. So that's the one thing you can look forward to.
Dangerous Orange Man.
Orange Man.
I
Orange Man will fix your economy, yes.
hope so. Maybe, people always point to his bankruptcies, but maybe he's learned something.
Yeah. Well, another thing, federal government doesn't go bankrupt.
That's true, but like you just go and you inflate instead.
That's true. I don't know. I would move back to the gold standard, but that's something. That's another topic for another day.
That is another topic. That's an interesting one. We should do an episode on that.
Modern monetary theory. Look for it. Actually, someone good for that? I have someone good for that. I might ask him. I'll tell you after.
All right.
But I guess we're almost at an hour here for reopening. We have discussed reopening and coronavirus life a little bit here. I guess we'll make our final pitches, and that'll be it for today. Sorry it's a little shorter than normal, but I guess that's a good thing. Because our last ones ran long.
Oh yeah. Big, long, monster episode.
Yeah. So I'll let you start, John.
I'm hopeful for the vaccine, not the virus. Then again, I could be hopeful for the virus as well. But more importantly, the vaccines are coming. They're being developed, and they're seeing a lot of success. There's some sketchy people out there, like the Moderna people, not sharing all the information. But they're also not the only ones making vaccines. There's the Oxford people with their monkey tests, and that was working out. Like the monkeys actually produce antibodies.
Produced antibodies and then didn't get it when they were exposed to it.
Right. So I'm hopeful, and I think reopening should happen. Just cautiously, please. I don't want it to go out of control again because we can't control that. That would really suck.
All right, and I think we should move. I think we should reopen, definitely. I think we need to let people be responsible, take into consideration their own health, their own risk, their own safety, and make a decision. Do I think we should be forcing people to wear masks? Maybe not, but I think people should.
Yeah.
And when people go out in public, wear a mask. Protect yourself. That would be my solution to you. But I don't think we should keep businesses closed because of that. Going to, closed store is, not gonna change anything. So I think we need to just open up. And people need to protect themselves. If individual stores want to mandate that you have to be wearing a mask, that's fine. I don't think it should be the government's job. I think we need to reopen and get our moving, but we also need to protect ourselves, and that be up to the risk of the individual. And go from there. I am also hopeful for a vaccine. I think a vaccine will be a game changer. I think on the successful usage of vaccines, basically, you will. Okay, I guess I'll spin this into one last question.
Yes.
When you get a vaccine, what happens?
Well, your body is trained to create
No,
antibodies.
no, not that way. I mean, like,
okay.
what happens
When
as
you
far as reopening?
Hopefully you don't reopen right away, and then just dish out the vaccine to everyone who needs it, then reopen.
Okay, so I guess it's depending on the basis if it's a preventative vaccine or a
Yes.
responsive vaccine. Yeah, responsive vaccine, right?
Right. Yeah. Like if you have a vaccine that can like kill everything right away.
Cure it
Then-
versus prevent it. A cure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's a cure, would you say open everything back to normal?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Instantly
Okay. Now, if it was a preventative, what would you do?
make it go a lot slower,
Okay, that's fair.
so that we can establish herd immunity, and then just go back to living. Because if you do it too soon, you're not going to have enough vaccines to deal with people.
Now, here's the question. Who pays for it?
I think the government will buy it. You're
So-
like, you don't want to hear that, but in this situation, are you really going to hand over the rights to people's health to a private corporation instead of the government, which is supposed to protect your
Well,
life?
I'm going to be honest with you. If someone discovers a cure or even a preventative and it like foolproof works, the government will not allow them to keep a patent.
Oh, of course.
So
I think they should still be compensated, though.
well, obviously, but I think that I don't think we'll have to worry about one company getting it and then producing all the vaccines, because I think that's where government steps in and they're like,
Yeah.
dude, you don't understand. You got to give
Right.
up those rights. We don't care. And that's when they'll step in.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's like the breakup of monopolies. Perfect example right there of what government regulation is needed for. So that's probably, we're mostly on the same page. I think I would be more open to a faster reopening. I think John's more on the pace of a little slower. So
yeah, it's just because in the past we have seen this happen in history, the plague, the Spanish flu, and we always just suffer immensely if we try to go too fast. If there are cities, Philadelphia, I believe, had a really hard time with the Spanish flu. But other cities like I think Boston had a pretty easy time with it, at least like comparatively. And it's because they went through the ropes that we're doing now. Like they took the time to stabilize their healthcare system and do masks, while Philadelphia was like, "Oh, just do whatever you want."
all right. So I think, yeah, I'm not saying we need willy-nilly, but I think that I would encourage
A little bit faster would be nice.
especially in our state, being that we are pretty much the last ones. So,
Are we
yeah.
really?
Yeah, we're like, I believe we were the second to last state to open up, behind none other than Connecticut, but Connecticut is reopening faster. So,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should probably go then,
yeah.
but not. We should not be hasty.
Right.
Don't mess it up.
Again, I think there need to be guidelines to reopen, yes, but I think we need to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think we can come to consensus on that. And
Yeah.
I guess that's where we'll end it today. It wasn't a fiery debate today.
Who's gonna
like it's
disagree on
been.
coronavirus though?
Who's gonna say lockdown forever and never come out? Not many people. And if there are, it's people who have no lives. Oh well, I'm not going to be called a bigot for that one. Actually, one last point. Did you see the crap Alyssa Milano got for wearing a crocheted mask in the Wear a Mask Club?
No, I did not. But that's stupid.
Okay, so it's literally got holes in it. And she's in a picture with a bunch of her kids saying, wear a mask, wearing a mask with holes in it.
Bro.
Yep. Liberal wokeness for you. And I guess we'll leave it at that. Thank you.
That's so dumb.
Thank you for watching the Two Sides of Politics, a podcast. We will see you guys Thursday.